the tip of the week is going to be what's a lead versus what is a deal. And I get people that call me all the time. I got a deal, I got a deal, I got a deal. And almost always when somebody tells me they have a deal, it's not actually a deal. So what do you guys think a deal is versus a lead? What is a lead? Anybody know what a lead is? Any hands going up around the room? What do you think a lead is? Someone is interested. Okay, maybe. I would say a lead includes someone that is interested. Sometimes someone is not interested, right? So that could also be a lead. What else is a lead? What do you think a lead is? An opportunity. Well, maybe it could become an opportunity, you know, and this is where we get into kind of the difference between a lead and a deal. Any other thoughts on what is a lead? What is a lead? Potential. Yeah. I would say that a lead is not much more than the name and number of somebody that might be interested in selling real estate. That's really all it is. It's just the name and number of someone that might be interested in selling a real estate. They might be motivated, they might not be interested, they might accept an offer, they might not accept an offer, they might sell their property, they might not. When it comes to a lead, what do you need, right? If somebody gives me a lead, what do you need? I need an address, name, an address. Now, if you're getting a property under contract, I'm going to tell you whoever's names are on the deed has to be on the contract. When you look a property up in the tax records, it shows who owns the property, who's on title, who's on the deed to the property. If there's two names, you got to get them both on the contract. If there's one name, you got to get that one name on the contract. And then there's obviously the address of the property. Now, the other thing I'd like to have along with that deed, I'd like to have some information about the deal. I'm going to tell you for highly experienced investors, the most important thing they usually want to know is what is the seller's reason for selling? In other words, what is their motivation? And, you know, sellers have different reasons they want to sell. Sometimes a seller wants to sell a house so they can buy a bigger, nicer house. Sometimes they want to sell a house because they're facing foreclosure and they're about to lose the house. Sometimes they want to move, sometimes they're getting a divorce. There's all kinds of reasons why somebody would want to sell a house. What a really experienced investor wants to know is this a motivated seller, somebody who really has to sell a house, or somebody who would kind of sort of like to sell a house? Because if I know that this is a motivated seller, here's what I know. Either they're going to sell the house to me, or they're going to sell the house to somebody with more skill than me. Because they're going to sell it, because they have to sell it. Now, on the other hand, if I know this is a non-motivated seller, I know the odds are they're not going to sell it to me or any other investor, because it's not likely that a real estate investor is going to have an offer that would appeal to a non-motivated seller. A non-motivated seller just needs to hire a realtor, put it on the MLS, and get the best offer they can, and if they don't get what they want, then they can just not sell it at all. So we really want to know why they're selling a house. And a lot of times people bring me a lead, and I ask them that question, why do they want to sell a house? Oh, well, you know, and there's really no reason, at least no true motivating reason. And if that's the case, the odds are you're probably wasting your time. The odds of that turning into a deal is not likely to be a lot. What is a lead worth? A lead is worth maybe $50, maybe $100, right? Not a whole lot. If you just buy leads from a lead service, you might pay $50, you might pay $100. If you pay somebody to be a deal finder for you, finder's fees, you might pay $50 or $100. You know, but what is it worth? Well, leads are like lottery tickets, right? Most of them are worth nothing at the end of the day, but some can be worth tens of thousands or maybe even $1 million or more. People always give me a lot of other information when it comes to the lead. You know, and some of that information matters and some of that information doesn't matter. I usually could care less about, you know, what kind of tile is in the kitchen, or, you know, some nice landscaping or some other thing that they did. They always say, oh, I'm on a cul-de-sac. I don't really care if you're on a cul-de-sac or not. All I really care about is what's the property worth, You know, what is it going to cost to renovate? You know, and that's the key thing. And then what, of course, I can buy it for. So there's a lot of things that don't matter. The things that matter are anything affecting the ARV. ARV stands for after repair value, fixed up value. Things that tell you how much it's really going to cost to renovate. Some of you were here for the Get Started presentation. I was giving a little coaching on kind of what to look for there, and of course the motivation. Now, what is a deal? What is a deal? I would say a deal is any property you have under contract. That's the big difference. If you have a signature or signatures on a contract, now you have presumably an able-bodied seller that's agreed to sell the property at some terms. Now, it may be a good deal or a bad deal, and obviously the difference between a good deal and a bad deal is whatever those terms are, right? What the price is and what the terms are relative to what the value of the property is. And then any details that would affect those things that matter, right? The ARV, the repairs, and the motivation. What is the value of a deal? A lot. You should be able to calculate pretty much the profit that deal is worth. If we know the after repair value, the fix up value after it's fixed up, and we know what it's going to cost to fix up, and we know what we're going to buy it for, then we should be able to know what we're going to buy it for, what we're going to fix it for, and what we can sell it for. We should be able to calculate pretty darn accurately what profit we will make at the end of the deal. Generally speaking, as real estate investors, we want to buy ideally a property at about 70% of the after repair value, fix up value, minus the cost of repairs. That's a quick and dirty number. And the reason that quick and dirty number is thrown around a lot is because if you add up all the costs to buy a property, hold a property, and then sell a property, it's not unusual that by the time you pay the closing costs on the buy, the insurance while you're holding on to it, which is typically a vacant house, which typically is 4 times the cost of normal insurance, the cost of money to buy it and fix it and sell it again, the prorated taxes you're accumulating while you own it, the cost to sell it, closing cost to sell, title insurance when you sell it, commission on the buyer's side, commission on the seller's side. By the time you add up all that stuff just associated with buying it, holding it, and then eventually reselling, it's not unusual that that's as much with the cost of money as 15% of the value of the house when it sells. So if your overhead, right, is 15%, and you're getting it at a 30% discount, 70% of ARV minus repairs, then what is your profit margin? It would be the other 15%. If anything goes wrong, what does it come out of? The other 15%. So that's not a lot of profit, and we always tell people that are getting into this, don't overpay for a property. But if you ever go to somebody and you say, I have a lead or I have a deal, this is the difference. A lead is a name and number of somebody that might want to sell property. A deal is something you have under contract that may or may not be a good deal upon further analysis and due diligence. So that was a very quick tip of the week.